So today we're going to take a quick look at multiplying radical expressions, and this deals with two expressions that both involve a radical or a root, and we want to multiply them together to combine what we have underneath. The first thing we have to remember is when we multiply, we're actually going to have one giant square root. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to multiply all the common terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply my numbers together. 20 times 3 is going to give me 60. Right? Then I'm going to look at my a's. And remember, when you multiply letters with exponents, we add their exponents. So that's going to give me a to the 6. And when I multiply my b's, I'm going to add their exponents and get b to the 11th. Now we're chugging along, but we do need to simplify this radical. So the first thing we need to do is find the greatest square root that goes into the number 60. If I think about my square roots, the biggest one that's going to go into the number 60 is 4. So I'm going to write 60 as 4 times 15. And I'm going to keep my letters the same. I'm going to deal with the numbers first, and then I'm going to come back and deal with the letters and say when I take the square root of 4 or move it outside the radical, it becomes a 2. And this is what I'm left with inside the radical. 15, a to the 6th, b to the 11th. Now I can move some of those a's and b's out of the radical and make this a little bit simpler. And there's actually a couple different ways to look at this. But essentially what we want to do is take as many of them out. And a radical is essentially going to divide these exponents by the index. And since we don't see an index, there is a little index of 2 out there. It is a square root, or an index of 2. So I want to see how many groups of 2 I can take out. So since my exponent on the a is 6, and I want to take out groups of 2, I could do 6 divided by 2, and see I can take out 3 groups of 2. So that becomes 2a cubed. And now we're going to deal with the b's. When I deal with the b's, the b has an 11. And this one isn't going to work as nicely. I can't take out just a nice even number of groups. So I'm going to have somebody that's left behind. The biggest number of groups I can take out is 5. And 5 is going to, because 2 goes into 11 5 times, with a little bit left over. And if you can remember learning to divide as a small child in elementary school, you probably learned to divide like this. How many times does 2 go into 11? 5. 5 times 2 is 10. We have a remainder of 1. And that 1b is going to be the b that gets stuck underneath the radical. It can't come out. It doesn't have enough friends. It's got to be in a group of 2 to come out. So it doesn't have enough friends. It gets stuck underneath. But 5 groups do get to come out, and 1 gets stuck underneath. And that is my multiplied, simplified radical.